Welcome everyone, welcome everyone, welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Please continue to help us like the page, subscribe to the page, share the page, and as always, comment on the YouTube comment section. I always enjoy reading everybody's comments on whatever the topic is that got your attention. Today we're going to be talking about the NASCAR race from this past Sunday. And as I said in yesterday's video, the reason why I waited until Friday to do the video is because there's been a lot of NASCAR news coming down the pipeline this week. I'll try to quickly cover some of that as well. But Kyle Larson won at Nashville. It was NASCAR's first trip to Nashville since 1984. So if you've watched the race and you're a NASCAR fan or know someone who is, please feel free to tell them to let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed the race or not, outside of Kyle Larson dominating, since it was NASCAR's first trip to Nashville since 1984. Second place was Ross Chastain, William Byron, Eric Almirola, and Kevin Harvick rounded out the top five. It was good to see Eric Almirola have a good finish. He was 28th in the points heading into the race, so he was having an absolutely dreadful year. So maybe he's trying to turn it around and give Kevin Harvick some support for the Stewart-Haas Racing organization. 6 through 10 was Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Daniel Suarez, Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, and Joey Logano. Now the current points right now is Kyle Larson, of course, since he has 4 wins, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, William Byron, and Chase Elliott is in 5th place right now. And 6 through 10 is Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, and Christopher Bell. Now Chase Elliott finished 13th in the race, but then he got disqualified immediately following the race during post-race inspection for having 5 loose lug nuts. And NASCAR has now said they're following the Hendrick organization very, very closely, because that's already Chase Elliott's 3rd, I believe, inspection that he's failed this year. And if you've been following NASCAR for a while, then you know back in the day when Jimmy Johnson was dominating, there was a time when almost every single time that Jimmy Johnson won, he would fail post-race inspection in some way, shape, or form. So they were clearly cheating, but they always pretty much just got a pat on the wrist, a pat on the back, and then that was it. They might get fined a little bit of money here and there, but never anything major. But then NASCAR finally caught up to them, and Hendrick stopped cheating. In the last 3 or 4 years, the Hendrick organization hasn't been any better than any other organization. As a matter of fact, last year they were saying they may now be the 3rd best organization behind Gibbs and Penske. And now all of a sudden this year they're back to the top, and it's clear they're back to the top because they're cheating. That was actually Kyle Larson's 4th straight win, but only 3rd straight points win, because of the All-Star race not being a points race. But he's now won 4 races on the season. He's passed Martin Truex Jr. for the most wins right now in the Cup Series. Now this weekend, of course, starting tomorrow, they're going to run 2 races in the same weekend at the same racetrack. They're going to run Pocono tomorrow, and they're going to run Pocono on Sunday. And the reason why they're doing that is because if you follow NASCAR, you know Pocono is in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Well, Pennsylvania is known for being cold pretty much almost year-round. So in years past, NASCAR makes a trip to Pocono in June, and then they make a trip to Pocono in July. So this time they thought, instead of going there and making all these teams travel in June and then go back to the shop and then go back in a month, they would just do 2 races the same weekend. 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Hopefully there'll be no rain so they can go ahead and get the Saturday race in and get the Sunday race in, but there will not be any qualifying since they're going to race 2 races in 2 days back to back. You can go ahead and get on NASCAR.com and check out the qualifying running order, if you want to call it qualifying, for tomorrow's race, since they're not actually going to be having qualifying. The field has already been set. You can go to NASCAR.com and see where your driver is starting for tomorrow if you so choose. And also, I know a few weeks back I mentioned that the rumor was Jeff Gordon was leaving Fox as soon as the Fox half of the NASCAR Cup Series ended. Well, it's over, and a week later it's official. Jeff Gordon is leaving Fox. He's now pretty much going to be second in line behind Rick Hendrick for the Hendrick organization. They're pretty much getting him primed for taking over Hendrick whenever Rick Hendrick retires, because Rick Hendrick will be 72 in July, I believe it is. So we don't know how much longer he'll be around. Jeff Gordon will be 50 in August, so they're going ahead and getting him primed to take the place of Rick Hendrick for whenever Rick Hendrick decides to hang it up. Now, there's been no word yet from NASCAR or from Fox about what the Fox team is going to do, but my guess is they'll hire somebody to take his place, because if you follow NASCAR, you know last year before Clint Boyer came along, it was just Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon up in the booth, and I thought they did a good job. But NASCAR, the races are so long that 2 men up in the booth really is not enough, especially if the race starts late because of rain, or if the race has a delay because of rain, or if it gets red flagged because of rain. And it seems like here lately, the last couple of years, about 7 or 8 times a year when Fox carries a race, there's some kind of rain delay. And when you've got 2 guys up in the booth and that's all you've got, and they've got to talk for 5.5, 6 hours, they can run out of things to talk about and get boring. But it's not that they're trying to, it's just when you're by yourself in that booth for that long, after a while you can no longer talk about anything exciting, so you start repeating yourself or talking about boring stuff. So to me, you need 3 guys. My guess is it's going to be Jamie McMurray, because he does a great job on the pre-race stuff and the post-race stuff back in Charlotte in the booth. Now, Larry McReynolds will be 63 next year, and he has said that he has no desire to travel anymore. He's happy being in Charlotte, being in the studio, especially since he lives in Charlotte. He can pretty much get up Sunday morning, travel to the Charlotte studio, do the race in the studio, head back home. Jamie Mack is in the studio as well, but he's a lot younger than Larry Mack, and he does a great job. So my guess is it's going to be Jamie McMurray, but there hasn't been any kind of talk about it yet since Jeff Gordon leaving just came down the pipeline. I believe it was this past Tuesday, I think is when it was. So I have to sit back and wait and see where that goes, and sit back and wait and see what happens to the Rick Hendrick organization, since NASCAR is following them very closely. But if you're a NASCAR fan or know someone who is, please feel free to tell them to watch the video and give me your thoughts on Kyle Larson's dominance as of late, or the NASCAR season as a whole, or what you feel about NASCAR racing twice this weekend at Pocono, one time tomorrow afternoon and one time on Sunday afternoon. Now, before I get out of here, let me go ahead and say that tonight we're going to be having some possum. And it's possum from the Himalayan. And it's because I found Himalayan on the road. And that is your dad joke of the day. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.